This is Coach JT Tapias, and today I have a special guest, a friend now, who he's done amazing on our program. He's done some pretty incredible things here in the last 15 weeks. And I wanted to bring him on here to just chat, because I know some of you guys have done other things, maybe keto, Atkins, South Beach, Whole30, macro counting, you name it. And you've struggled with this idea of losing weight, more importantly, making it a sustainable lifestyle. And that's one of the things that we really pride ourselves in the Empty Your Bucket nutrition plan. We humbly are proud of that idea that we really teach people how to eat and how to maintain this as a lifestyle. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my friend, Frank. Frank, how you doing?
Doing all right. All right. Thank you.
All right, brother. So talk to us a little bit about your experience on the plan. I know that when you first came on, talk to us about some of those pain points you had when you first came on the plan.
Well, I had been, like a lot of people, I was trying to do this thing on my own. Over the years, I had just gained weight, and it wasn't like it was overnight. It was a gradual thing. And then I woke up one day and it's like, how did I get here, kind of a thing. And I didn't think that the COVID time had affected me that much weight-wise, but it definitely exploded after that. And then my next move was to do high-intensity training at a gym, and I was killing myself. And it would take me 2 hours to recover, and but I wouldn't look any different. I didn't look any different. I didn't weigh any different a couple of months, 3 months after doing it. Gotcha. And so I said, I can't do this anymore. Something there, I've got to change something. And I always knew that it was my diet, because I would come home, I'd bust open the bag of chips, and I'd get to work again.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, it's interesting, right? Because I often hear that this is one of the routes that people choose, because working out seems as if, if I get in the gym and I put in the work, then of course the results are going to come. And, as a former gym owner, I saw that day in and day out. It was actually one of the catalysts to us really focusing on nutrition almost 23 years ago, because I was seeing people that were consistent, they were disciplining themselves to come to the gym. They were working hard at the gym, but they weren't getting results, and people were frustrated. And so that's when we really said, okay, we know we have to, number one, we want to bring a great product to the marketplace. Number two, we want to differentiate ourselves from the competition, because we were in a gym saturated area, 30 gyms in a 5-mile radius. So we focused on nutrition because of that. And so you did the workouts, you realize, hey, the harder I work, the more I want to eat when I get home. Right. And I'm sure you did a couple other things, but I think it was an interview that you saw, and I love how you put it. You the thing that caught your attention was my tattoos, right?
Yeah. It was. It's been a while. Parr, is it Alan Parr?
Alan Parr from The Beat. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and he had done videos, and he typically just does them solo. And then I watched his video, and you were on there. I didn't know who you were at that time, and yeah, just your tattoos just kind of stood out to me. And I thought, well, this is going to be an interesting podcast. I want to see what this is all about. Sure. And so simply by that, and the thing that caught me was he goes, I want to introduce my friend JT, his plan. He goes, I've lost 30 pounds. I've kept it off for over a year. And that's what had me, was the year time. Because over the years, I've been able to lose weight here and there. I've seen many people in my life do something extreme, lose it, and then it comes back.
Right. That's amazing. Yeah. So the tattoos caught your attention. I keep telling people these tattoos, they're providential. So awesome, brother. Well, you came to the program. If you don't mind sharing can I share some of your stats here?
Sure.
Okay. So you're 54 years young. You and I are from the same planet. We're 5'8". And at the time, you were 215 pounds. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
So you were 215, and we set a goal for you of 185, 190. So 25, 30 pounds in 90 days, which I'll let you tell us what happened. I mean, I think it was like week 6 or 7 where you had already crushed that initial 25, 30 pounds, right?
Yes.
And so that led me to create a second goal because we still had some time left in the program.
Right.
And we set that goal at 170, 175.
Mm-hmm.
What are you weighing currently?
Right before we got on here, I was at 174.4.
Okay. So that is from 215 to 174.4. That's 41.4 pounds. That's pretty amazing. That is pretty amazing. I actually have a toddler, and she's 4 years old, and I think she's like 37 pounds, maybe something along those lines. So you basically small toddler there, which is really, really cool. And I think we have a tendency to focus on metrics, and even though that's cool and that's significant, I mean, I want to ask, like, what besides the weight, which once again is amazing, and I know we're all metric focused, especially when it comes to weight loss, how do you feel, like, what's different? What is the one thing outside of the numbers that you would say is different from where you were?
Well, I would say that I have incorporated slow burn, which is a brand new thing to me. Just to think the way I can go walking and do this. Mm-hmm. And people ask me all the time, Frank, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I tell them I walk 3 to 4 times a week, and they just kind of stare at me. So in addition to the other pieces, so the walking has become a habit. Mm-hmm. And I have to force myself, as a matter of fact, to rest now. It's just something I kind of want to always do. The other thing is pre-planning the meals, which was another big part for me to having to do. So like last night, got home and I just, prepped some meals for this week. They're already sitting there ready to go. Scheduling and creating habits, creating new structures.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Frank. So what I hear you saying here is, right, you weren't a slave to the weights. You didn't have to work out at the gym and kill yourself there. You're telling me
I haven't stepped into a gym since you and I met.
Wow. Right. Okay. And you're telling me that you're not having to run, sprint, bike, or do any of those exhausting cardiovascular workouts in order to lose 41 pounds in 15 weeks.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the truth. I have no other way to say it. That's the truth.
Okay. And secondly, what I hear you saying is that you're prepping these meals. Do you have to be a chef? Do you have to be this like experienced kitchen person to do this?
No, absolutely not. That was, no, absolutely not. Because, with the plan and stuff, I kind of laid out some basics. And what I liked about the plan was that it was very basic and it was something easily understandable to do. And I didn't need all these extra skills, all this extra equipment. And everything was easily accessible, and so that was a big plus for me. And that's what made it easy to get started. Because sometimes if something is too hard, you're just not going to get there. And so I just found it very accessible.
That's awesome. That's incredible, because that's some of the hangups people have. Well, I'm not a chef, or, hey, I've been working out. Like, why is this any different? And one of the things that points of contention sometimes, as a former gym owner and someone who loves to work out, is I tell you guys, hey, if we can hold off from resistance training while we actually knock the weight out so that we can focus on the thing that's going to bring the biggest return on investment, then that's what we want to do, right? And most people look at me like I have 4 heads, like, what do you mean I don't have to work out, right? Yeah. That's amazing, brother. I mean, you've done incredible. I commend you for your follow through, your discipline. It's I know that these things will carry on for the rest of your life. I think these components are very sustainable, very easy to sustain long term. And 15 weeks. Do you see yourself going back to your old habits?
No, I just in my head, my feelings is like, no, I just can't do that. I just can't go back. But the other thing is I now have a structure, so it's much more than just a feeling. It's much more than a wish or a hope that I don't go back.
Right.
There's an actual plan, actual structure sitting there to help me. It's the way to live.
Sure.
Not just a hope.
Yeah. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it's very systematic and it's easy to implement. So very exciting news. I mean, every time I would see your numbers week after week, I would just get so excited because I know besides the aesthetic changes, I know internally, you must be feeling very different. I'm sure people in your circle of influence are noticing and that's really cool, brother. So I want to, I just want to commend you for everything you've done in these past 15 weeks. I want to encourage you to continue on with the journey. As we say here in the plan, I don't do transactions, I do relationships. And so we will stay connected here if you have any questions for us. And thank you for coming on this call and sharing some of your experience during the program. Anything that you would say to someone who's on the fence or who's watching this for the first time, and maybe they have a lot of buts in their mind about, well, maybe it worked for him, but it didn't work for me. What would you say to that person?
I tell you what, I am a firm believer now in this, and I went in with just hoping. But I had several things. I was transitioning my job. I had a big vacation on the horizon. I told you about, JT. I'm worried about my Maui trip. How am I going to enjoy that? So my schedule was going to change because of the way that my schedule works. And so I had all these things. Plus I have kids at home. I have all these variables that would say, no, you can't do this. No, you can't do that. And that I came back from Maui having lost, I think, almost 4 pounds. And I loved my trip to Maui. It's not like it was ruined. It was enhanced. And so that was the one big thing I asked you about in March. And you said, if you can do it in Maui, you can do it anywhere. And I did it in Maui and still enjoyed the time, which was a big mind shift for me because I always equated having fun with food. Hey, it's Friday night. Let's go out to eat. Hey, we're going to the such and such football game. I'm going to grab some nachos. I always equated that, but I was able to separate good experiences from food. So that was the mind shift that I went through in the program. You recommended a book, Atomic Habits. That was just huge in the way that I thought about this. And so to anybody that's thinking, now this isn't going to work for me, I don't know how to, I just want to scream, yes, it will. Yes, it will. What makes this difference is that there's accountability. People ask me all the time, Frank, what'd you do? What'd you do? And I would tell them, I said, first of all, I said, you could probably tell me nutritionally what I did because everybody knows, right? Everybody understands the basics of, hey, your proteins, your vegetables, cut out sugar and salt. Nobody disagrees basically on a big level with that. But the secret thing is, and I'm firm, is the accountability piece. And I knew that having that built in to get it started, to get the habit started, that was the secret for me. I tried it on my own so many different times over the decades, and it just didn't work. But this obviously did.
That's amazing. That's amazing, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you for your follow through and your discipline. It's really just something that I admire you for. And even though we have the accountability set in place, it's still work on your end, and you got it done. Yeah. So thank you so much for your follow through and your support and your friendship. And brother, just encouraging you to continue on this journey. And anytime things get challenging, you can reach out to me.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much for being on the call.
All right. Have a good one.